I'm going to talk to you about how to learn guitar scales as an adult beginner. Now, scales, they are the backbone of all music we play, so they are important to know, and I'm going to teach you how to play them and exactly what you need to do to be able to do that and sound good. All right, let's get into it. Let's explore this topic of how to learn guitar scales for adult beginners. Now, there is a lot of scales out there, majors, minors, you name it. There's many ones to explore and use in certain songs, and it can get overwhelming, so we're going to cover how to get around that. I'm going to show you a couple of examples of good scales to put into your guitar playing, and when is the best time to actually learn a scale. All right, let's go. Guitar scales, they make up all music. They are the skeleton, they are the backbone of all the songs we play. Now, there's a lot of technique to get them, and there's a lot of scales out there to actually learn. So which ones are right for you? If you're here as an adult beginner looking to play songs around the campfire, I'm going to offer a little bit of an alternative for you. I don't feel that if you're in your first year that you should go out and learn a bunch of scales. Right? I think the best time for you to learn them is in the actual songs that you want to learn. Okay, so if there's a song like Wish You Were Here, that's got that, right, that opening, what we call a riff, but it's all part of a scale. That's a great time to learn it. If you want to do something like great time to learn that scale, not just as an isolated event to get fingers working, because as a beginner, technique will come from the actual songs that you want to play. All right, so learning that will develop your technique. Okay, so you don't have to go out and learn the full scale pattern of it. You can learn it in small chunks, because that's where you're going to be learning them anyway, because in the majority of songs that you're going to play, they're going to come up as either parts of the scale, like when we're doing, like if you're looking at country songs, for example. That sort of thing, or even like that sort of thing. It's all part of the scale, but it's more about you learning the song, okay? Because understanding where scales fit and how they come about and how they're designed and why they work with certain things takes a lot of theory, okay? And that's important to know, but not in your first year. And that's where you are right now. And like, it's more important that you learn a bunch of songs. Don't worry about learning a bunch of scales or learning all about theory, because I firmly believe that we learned how to talk before we could read or write. Yes, reading and writing made that more, we could understand it in greater depth, but we knew how to talk. You know, we could say words, we could have a conversation. Right? The same thing is with music. If you know songs and you're playing songs, there's a conversation. To get in deeper with them, hey, then go and learn the theory and the scales that all relate to that particular song, and then it's going to make sense. You're going to find them in rhythm fills and stuff like that, little riffs. Or even if it's okay, that was a poorly executed example of Wild World there, but that scale in that C major scale, what better time to learn it because it's in that song, okay? Because if we just learn it, yes, it sounds great and it's good finger development, but it it serves no context. We don't have context to relate it to the song. All right, so, but if it's in the song, hey, perfect, we get context. So I would, if you want to learn scales, I'd find a song that has that scale in it and then go and learn that song. Because you're listening to the pros do it, who have put it together for you, and you can hear it in a musical way. Because practicing scales up and down, can be a bit lifeless, not very musical. And here's another tip. Nobody, your Aunt Mary, Auntie Dawn, whoever, is not going to ask you to play them a scale. They're going to say, hey, play me a song. All right, so that's where it comes in. All right, so let's look now at how we can practice these scales and effectively play them. So the big thing with scales, because quite often in the songs that you're going to be learning, they're going to be coming out, you're going to be coming out of strumming a chord, right? Let's just use this C chord. Right? You're going to be strumming that in some way, and then you're going to get to a single note run. So we need enough pressure on that single note to sound it. See, like we can sort of get away when we play chords because we've got a lot of notes ringing out in sympathy. All right, they're sounding together, so they can cover up a few different things. But for now, when you play a scale or part of, that's going to stand out really well. All right, and if that's not sounding good, you don't have good pressure, you're going to get buzzy notes, muted notes, or another common thing that I see a lot of adult beginners do is they cut the note. They don't hold it out for a decent length, or what we call the value of the note. Step one is just do it really, really slowly. Don't take the whole scale, just take a small part of it, but do it really slowly. All right, and instead of running through the whole 7 notes of the scale, in this case, let's just work on the first 4. Alright, so you're making sure that your finger's close to the fret as possible. So the fret closest to the guitar body. Because that's when you play a note there, you get least amount of pressure you have to put on, but the best sounding tone of the note compared to back off the other side of the fret area. So pressure down, let the note ring out, next note, and then the next note. Alright, make sure that you're close to the fret as possible. Alright, and then you just add extra notes from that. Right, let's change tack. Let's look at alright, one of the greatest songs ever. It's instantly recognizable. Alright. That's just a scale run leading up to the first chord. Alright, and we have to get those 3 notes sounding nice and clean. Alright, so when we do that fretted note there, that's going to sound as good as the open string, right? But it can't be cut like that. In certain examples, yes, but not in this way. Right? So you got to practice that in isolation there. All right, and then lead into the chord. So we're just taking a small bit, working on it slowly, and we do repetitions on that. Dexterity and your accuracy gets better, the tempo or the speed will take care of itself. All right, so always chunk it down, play it slow, and do repetitions on it. So we've covered the best time to learn a scale. It's in the actual song. Don't go out learning scales just for the sake of learning scales, because it doesn't. You don't have that context, right? And we've also covered where they're going to turn up for you. And in most cases, as a first year adult beginner, it's going to be in the chords that we're playing or connecting to the chords, like in countries. Okay, or it's going to be like those would recommend adult beginner to learn guitar scales. Okay, so now you know how to learn guitar scales for adult beginners. I want to offer you an alternative to just learning scales for the sake of scales, and that is playing songs. Getting songs under your fingers, because that's what people want to know. They want to hear a song, they don't want to hear a scale. They don't want to hear the latest C major scale run through you, unless it's part of the song, of course. We play songs around the campfire. I have a free gift for you, right? And it's my ultimate 4-chord songbook. It's not a book, it's an actual video course. It's a 10-month video course. It's absolutely free. And in it, you get one song a month, all laid out for you, all steps broken down, so you can put these songs together piece by piece at your own pace. You get a chord chart there, so it's nice, simple to follow, easy to understand, and it's all broken down using my 3-part framework, which is CPR. And as I said, it's free. You get one song a month, so all you need to do is follow the link below. Just enter your name and email, and you'll get instant access to the first song. And then a month's time, you're going to get your next song. And to help you play songs around the campfire even easier, you're going to need to know how to use a capo, and you can do that in this video here. All right, I'll see you in the next one.